Hello everyone, I'm Rick Castell, your host for tonight, and welcome to On Time Cooking, where your favorite local chefs and cooking enthusiasts come to meet our challenge. Prepare a delicious meal in 30 minutes or less. Let me introduce with us tonight, again as usual, our co-host, the lovely Bernadette Brown.
Hi.
How are you tonight, Bernadette?
Hi, Rick. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. Good. Thank you.
Good to see
be
you.
here. And our master of the keys, Mr. John Dash Dixon. How are you tonight, John?
It's good seeing you.
Good to see you too as well. Okay, folks, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. So let me take this moment to introduce our chef, Rob G.
Hello.
Hello, Rob.
All right.
Welcome to On Time Cooking.
How's everybody?
Everybody's good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great.
Give us a quick little, what are we going to make tonight?
Okay, so tonight we're going to make a shrimp stir fry, one of my favorite meals, something that's very healthy and it's a pretty easy thing to make. So, I'm going to cook up some shrimp and then cook up some vegetables and a little bit of rice. We're going to put it all together and we're going to have a great meal. How about that?
And everything that's here looks delicious, so I'm going to let you get started.
Okay.
And I'll be back in a few minutes.
I
to just
appreciate
check
that.
up on
I
you.
appreciate
It's good
that.
to have you with us.
Okay, thank you so much.
right.
Thank you so much. So the first thing that you want to do with a shrimp stir fry, and this is something, it might be counterintuitive, is you want to warm the shrimp up a little bit before. So this way the shrimp are sort of cooked a little bit rather than throwing the shrimp in at the end and they're cold and now it's going to take you a while to cook them. So I've sort of cheated a little bit. I sort of like been warming these up a little beforehand.
That's
so you
magic,
could,
Yeah, really. That's not cheating, right?
Yeah.
all right, so as you can see, they're somewhat cooked. So I'm just going to take the shrimp, I'm going to put them in here, and then...
Shrimp, when they're raw, are actually referred to as green.
Okay, so now
Green.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little olive oil in each of these pans.
Hey, we want to welcome you, by the way,
Okay,
Chef Rob. Thank you. Want to say hey.
it's a pleasure.
Nice to have
it's
you
a pleasure.
here. Nice to
It's
have
a
you.
pleasure.
Very nice.
And it's a pleasure to be here. And the music is fantastic. That's like a bonus, huh? And we got Nadine is here. I mean, everybody's here. This is terrific. All right, so now I'm going to take some vegetables and I'm going to just put them into both of these woks a little bit. All right, I don't know if I'm going to use all of this stuff.
I was going to ask you, what sort of vegetables do you have going on?
Okay, so it looks like there's some green beans and there's some broccoli and there's some carrots and there's some bok choy and it looks like there's some red pepper in there. So we've got like a whole bunch of stuff.
Color. There's that
That's
eating
going
with
in
your
here.
eyes thing.
All right, so I think we got more than enough there. So
I don't
hopefully,
know about that. I'm not sure about that.
hopefully I'll be able to heat these things up in not too long a period of time. But the whole thing with the stir fry is the reason they call it a stir fry is because you have to keep mixing it and you want to get it hot, but you don't want to get it hot like too fast. You want to get it hot slowly. So I'm just going to mix all of these up. So you could talk to me in between.
And that's what we're going to do. We have a lot of visitors right here right now, so I'm excited. So don't be nervous.
No, anything.
Just be excited that
Right.
you're actually going to teach us something. Tell us a little bit about this dish that you're making. I know you had mentioned a little bit about something that you do.
Right.
So share that with us and our viewers.
Okay, so I'm an exercise physiologist. So I work with people that have diabetes and heart disease. So I help them to develop exercise programs so they can reduce their blood sugar, their blood pressure, if they need to lose a little bit of weight. But, the whole thing, if you're going to be healthy, you need to eat healthy. And I really just want to encourage people to cook at home because I think a lot of people think it's very hard, it takes too long. But actually a meal like this, if you were doing it for yourself, you could just get a frying pan, basically.
Yeah.
Throw a little olive oil in there, throw like a tiny drop of these vegetables, a couple of shrimp, and in
That's it.
10 minutes, you're sort of done. with the thing. Thank you. I had the wrong burner on. That's not going to help too much.
Well, there you go. There's some more
Well,
magic.
it would have definitely taken longer than 30 minutes that way.
Part 2. Okay. Yeah, part 2.
All right, so at any rate, you know, it's just, and I'm here with one of my favorite musicians, John Dash Dixon.
Right.
And I was telling John, I worked in cardiac rehab for many years, and we would use a very famous diet with the patients, and it was called the Dash diet. No lie, no lie.
Yeah, I remember, I brought it up.
All right, so DASH, all right, DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension, all right, and it was a study. So they studied this diet, and people that stayed on their regular diet, their blood pressure didn't change. People that ate a lot of fruits and vegetables with some high-fat meat, their blood pressure changed nicely, maybe 3 or 4 points. But the people that ate low-fat, with, like, say, 8 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, their systolic blood pressure went down up to 8 points, and their diastolic went down about 4 points. So just eating healthy, and people always say, well, what diet should I do, and should I do the keto? On this diet, you could really eat pretty much whatever you like. It's just you're eating healthier foods within reason. So I would recommend go online, look up the Dash diet, named after John Dash.
He's going to want to raise. This is all going to go to his head.
All right.
A little line.
Yeah, right?
I thought that's all it was.
Wait.
Right.
Yeah,
That's great. Thank you for letting us know that, because that's very interesting, I'm sure, to a lot of viewers here. So
Well,
we appreciate
y'all
that a
didn't know what
lot.
I mean. Hey, you're a diet now.
right.
Speaking of interesting, Bernadette, do you know where the term stir fry comes from, or when it originated?
When?
Yep.
Wow. So before I was born?
I'm not sure.
You better say yes. That was not a
Right.
trick question.
So the term
as you can
originated
see,
in 1945.
I sort of like
Before
warmed
I was
up the
born,
rice
that's good.
already, so I could have like a little head start on that.
It was a-
And the rice, I'll just show you everything I'm using here. So the rice is this brown rice Kiona. Everything is from Costco. All right, this could be 2 meals within itself. Just this. You pop it in the microwave for 90 seconds. You know, anything that's packaged is going to have a little bit of sodium. This isn't overly high, but there's 7 grams of fiber in this thing. So this would make 2 meals
Is
for
that
most people.
under the legal limit for grams of fiber in one thing?
It's a very high amount, you know, for something that small. And then the vegetables I also got from Costco, stir fry, $7.99, 2.5 pounds. This thing will, you know, if you have a family, you can go crazy with this, but I'm single. I just throw it in the freezer. It could last me forever, really. But we're going to use the whole thing up tonight.
And Chef Rob, Zach has an interesting point about, you said you were making stir fry. Go ahead, Zach.
Go ahead, Zach.
Share that with us.
So stir fry, the term, actually originated in a 1945 cookbook called How to Cook and Eat in Chinese.
How to cook and eat in Chinese, huh?
Uh-huh.
Really? How
And
did-
the woman who wrote it, her husband was a linguist, I believe at Harvard. And
Really?
he was doing these sort of translations of the Chinese into something that was kind of, you know, a new word for us.
Right.
So it's kind of cool.
Super interesting.
That's very interesting.
And 1945 was before any of us here, cast and crew, was born. So, wow, that's a long time ago.
It was, really.
No, that's really an interesting fact.
That is. I never knew that,
Isn't
but
that
now,
great?
but now I'm going to tell that
He's our
to
food
people.
guru over here. He's got the facts, I'll tell you.
Thank you for looking that up. All right, so the next thing I'm going to use, this is the only, well, maybe I'll use some other, but I'm going to use what's called Mrs. Dash.
How much more dash can you
Getting
get?
All right,
Too much.
so this is garlic herb. This is Mrs. Dash.
That's
Maybe
John's wife.
it's Mrs. John Dash. Okay, Mrs. Dash. All right, so I'm just going to put like a little of this stuff in, and whoops, that's not a little, but I'm sure it'll.
But that's all
one thing.
herbs and flavors.
Right,
It's
you
not
can see,
sodium.
I don't go
Yeah.
crazy about measuring things. I'm not like, you know, whatever looks right, if it comes out, it'll all work out. I'll just stir it around a little bit, and you'll have a little bit of garlic in here. So,
Oh, that's fine. Not a problem.
We love garlic.
right, you
Yeah.
love garlic, okay?
Yeah, we're good.
So these are starting to get hot and to heat up a little bit.
And what kind, you put olive oil in the pans first?
Yes,
Is what- okay.
exactly. Thank you for
the oil?
saying that. So I put a little bit of olive oil. And the thing you want to be very careful with is, like, if you're defrosting things or whatever, you want to start at a very low flame, because if you mix anything that has a little bit of moisture or water with the olive oil, it's gonna
Burn.
It can, right. Well, it could start jumping up. I've had it like out of the pan, and
Okay.
yeah, you don't want to
Right.
make any fires or burn yourself, especially
got
in
it.
Van's house over here. You don't want to get Van
No
upset,
flames
right?
tonight.
Another
Okay.
good reason, I see that's extra virgin olive oil. It has kind of a low smoke point, so you definitely do want to start at a low temperature. and
Absolutely.
kind of work your way
That's a
up.
good point.
Absolutely. So it's an art, it's a talent. And the way that I learned this, I used to have this friend in California, so I'll give her a shout out. My friend Irene was a gourmet cook. So Irene taught me how to cook a lot of
Wow.
stuff. But she's the one who told me, put the shrimp in first, get the shrimp warmed up, and then put it in again at the end. But I used to barbecue like filet mignon and do all this great stuff and have these dinner parties. And I'm just taking, see, a lot of people will load up stuff with soy sauce. You don't want, because soy, even though this is low sodium, there could still be a lot of sodium. And you don't want people with diabetes or heart disease using a lot of sodium, because it'll really jack up. But I'm just using this for a tiny bit of flavor, but also just to heat up the pans a little bit. All right, so I just put a drop. I wouldn't
Yeah,
put.
that was very little.
I wouldn't put more than that.
Yeah.
And we're just going to continue stirring these babies up.
Do you have any other fun facts for us? Food facts?
Oh, boy.
Zap facts?
Well,
or-
well, did you know about the pistol shrimp?
Oh my goodness, no.
So this is a shrimp that's also a gun. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, really?
Okay, load me up.
It's
on
a
it.
shrimp. They can do this little snap attack with their little
Like
front feely dealies.
the.
I don't know what those are called. That's next episode. We'll tell you all about those little front feely dealies on the shrimp. But anyway, they can do this
All right, you
little
know what?
thing
I'm
where
going
they
to go
cause
over
a
here to the
cavity.
microwave for a second and just put these babies in.
That little
For
snap
another
creates
few
this vacuum in the
seconds over
ocean,
here.
and when it snaps
Just take
back,
it like
it
a little
creates
cool.
heat that's hotter
So
than the
I am
surface of the
going
sun.
to power that
and
on.
loud
I'm
enough
going
to
to do
damage
60
human eardrums.
seconds.
Luckily, it's just a little.
And that's the rice. That's the Kiona rice that's in there. So the rice naturally is going to go on bottom, and then
You don't eat pistol
the stir fry is going to go over the rice. But this looks like it's heating up like pretty nicely here. All right, and I'm just going to add one other thing. And this also, it's very low sodium, very like 190 milligrams. So sodium, you want to stay under 2,000 milligrams a day, like way under that. All right, 2,000 milligrams would be the equivalent of like a teaspoon of salt. All right, so I'm just going to put a drop of this in for a little bit of flavor,
About that much.
and also to get it to heat up a little bit.
And what kind of flavoring is that?
Okay, this
though,
is just,
basically?
it's a stir fry, so I'm not even sure. It's
Okay.
sort of like, and again, you noticed I really didn't measure anything.
Yeah.
I
You don't have to
you got to eyeball it.
Yeah.
Sure, you don't have to measure.
Yeah, it's cooking. It's fine.
That's
Right?
right. That's right.
So, whoops, is that the smoke alarm? What is that?
No, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
We're okay right now.
Okay, because
so,
I have set off smoke alarms
Oh, you
before.
have.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
Nice to know. Okay, we'll have you sign a waiver later. All right, so I'm going to go like this because we're just going to give you a little point here,
Okay,
kind of in between time of starting and time of finishing the show. So
Okay.
we'll call our host back in,
got
give
it.
us a visit so he can really see what you're cooking.
So, Rob, how are we everything smells
Yeah, we're
delicious.
doing pretty good. That's
Are we
good.
about halfway to
We're
a delicious meal?
more than halfway.
Wow,
We're
it
more
looks terrific.
We're more than halfway.
I can't wait to
Well,
try it.
you know what? You're going to be eating before you know it.
Okay.
Over
Give us
here.
a minute for this word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Okay, great.
Okay, we are back. This
We are
is
back, huh?
looking good, smelling delicious, and I can't wait to try it.
Well, you're gonna.
So let's have a little musical interlude with someone who is not related to the spice that the chef is using tonight, our own John Dixon.
Terrific. I mean, that is a pleasure, huh? Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic.
Chef Rob, if he
Yeah.
can stand it now.
All right,
Let's
so
go.
now I'm gonna remember. So we started off with getting the shrimp a little pink and everything, and cooking the shrimp. So the shrimp are basically, I mean, you can eat these, but we're gonna warm them up a little bit more for maybe another 4 or 5 minutes.
Look at those colors.
Yeah.
See, that's what, I mean,
And-
seriously, you do eat with your eyes. It just makes you want to eat it.
So I hope people like shrimp. You
Yes.
Everybody likes shrimp.
Yes.
You know, Americans eat 1 billion pounds of shrimp a year.
Do they really?
We love shrimp.
Well,
I can't even imagine what 1 billion pounds is.
that's pretty amazing.
It's a lot.
That's pretty amazing. You know what? I go fishing and I use them, and
Oh.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah, right? So wait a minute.
So now you gotta ask, are the fish Americans, and do
Yeah,
they
right.
count towards the total?
But
That's what we need to know.
Hey, wait a
Right.
minute. Is that fair?
yeah.
So this is something that you highly recommend for what you were talking about.
For anybody to just,
Healthy living.
get a frying pan, go get a little thing of cauliflower if you live by yourself. Throw a little bit of olive oil.
That's
You
it.
don't need the Mrs. Dash and all of it. Just a little bit of olive oil, a few cauliflower, a few shrimp, or,
Done.
and that's it. In 10 minutes, you
Nice.
got a meal, and it's high fiber, so it'll fill you up. And so,
Yeah, that is high fiber, see?
Yeah.
Mr. Dash.
right. You know what?
Mr. Mr. and Mrs. Dash.
Dash. That's too much fun. Okay, we're done with that.
Yeah.
So the shrimp is getting warmed up.
So says you.
You're right.
See, but you know, the other thing is, if I'm going to cook for a lot of people, you could see it's easier to use like 2 woks,
I'm
because this would be
noticing
too
that
much
you
Yeah.
are for one
to
to
fit in one.
do
So,
it all.
and you know what? The woks, you could order them very cheap online. You could get some for like $10.
Wow.
I think I bought this one at Costco for like 20 or
That's
something
like
like
a nice
that.
one there. I'm noticing that one.
And
Okay, it's another handle to it.
yeah, Costco's the type of place you go into when you wind up buying all this stuff you don't need, like, you know, 3 woks and, you know, all this, you know, jeans that you don't need. And
It's true. Costco, IKEA, all those big box stores, you
That's
just
it.
get lost.
You just walk around and
how's
pick
that
it up.
looking, Nadine?
That looks fabulous. So, tell us one other little tip that you might have for watching that healthy living. What else would you have
Okay.
cooked besides putting shrimp in there? Like, give us
You know what? I saw she had some peanuts in there, but I didn't want to steal her peanuts. But I might throw peanuts in just for a little bit of texture, or
Okay.
raisins. But I'm going to give an exercise tip. I'm going to give, because people, oh, I don't have time to, oh, I'm at work all day. You know what? Walking 2 times a day for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody could do it. It doesn't
Yeah.
need to be, we need to go home, change, go to the gym, if you're at work 2 times a
Yep.
day, 10 minutes. If you're not exercising, you want to get started, start walking to the mailbox, but start somewhere, and it all adds up.
or walk in the grocery store and pick up the
You
shrimp,
can do
pick
it.
up your veggies, right?
You can
Take
do
your
it.
walk.
Do a couple laps in Costco before you start shopping.
Done deal,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Get some heavy stuff in that cart,
Don't
really
you
push it to the limit.
You can get some cardio in there, right? With
Put a
that.
couch in there,
Costco.
you know, just go to town.
Right.
I think they sell
Appliance.
cars in there too.
Yeah,
Just-
They do sell
Yeah.
cars at Costco.
Oh my god. Oh, that's too much.
No limits. You can be the next strongman in just under a year of
Done.
walking around
Right.
Costco.
Done. Oh my god.
Okay, well that is looking pretty done. I'm going to give it like another minute and a half. How about that?
And you're
we can
going
handle
to
that.
use, you said you had rice that you were going to also
Yeah, the
have?
rice is in here. We
Okay.
could get a shot of the rice.
Yeah.
Or what is it called?
Quinoa?
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
Not Kiona.
It's
It's
like a
not
grain.
Kiona, right?
It's a grain.
I said quinoa for a really long time.
There's the rice.
Like,
I had no
and you
idea.
stopped
So you know what?
today.
As a matter of fact, the
No.
rice I could put a little bit
Yeah.
in the dish to get started.
There you go.
That's
Oh, that
looking
looks
nice.
Great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I hope it's okay.
Of course.
Yeah, it's fine.
And quinoa is a healthy grain too.
There's a lot of fiber in here.
Yeah. Fiber's
Remember there was like
7 grams.
7 grams
7
of
grams
fiber.
of fiber. That's pretty good.
All right.
Just under the legal
Good.
limit.
Under the legal limit.
Under-
How much quinoa have you had
Okay.
today?
You know what? I'm gonna give this one another minute.
No, not
How many
saying.
grams have you had?
This is live television.
Yeah, that is
everything.
live.
But you guys are gonna be eating good. Over
We are
here.
excited.
Yeah, I can't wait. We all love shrimp here, so I think we do. Mm-hmm. You like shrimp?
You know, another word that was coined in that 1945 cookbook, How to Cook It,
This one I'm gonna give another minute.
was rappling.
Just
The
get
little
it hot.
dumpling wrap, little wrapped up dumplings. Isn't that a cute word, rappling?
Rappling.
Uh-huh.
I
So you
like
wrap them in
that. Like a
little-
bunting
Oh,
or
there's
a
some
rappling.
nuts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I am gonna throw a couple of nuts
Oh, you
in here.
are.
Here we
Just get a
go.
little.
And you know
more.
what? You can never say you did not do that because
Right.
it's on live.
And I didn't steal them.
You're
She
hot.
gave them to me. So I'm gonna.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't go steal something and somebody.
Oh, no.
Is it stealing if they get to eat it afterwards?
That's right. See?
How is that
If they
stealing?
enjoy
Right.
it. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. We hope you're getting some interesting facts from Zach and some interesting healthy tips and cooking finesse from Chef Rob tonight.
Yeah, and
See,
give
it
us
just-
your
that's
facts.
the whole
you know?
thing.
Yeah,
Just
we want to
keep
hear
stirring
from
it. Keep
Yeah.
stirring it. Get it
Let's
hot.
do this.
Let's get that back one a little hotter
Really
for a
smells
second.
good right now.
you. That's a
Oh,
fact.
That is a fact. Any other facts or no?
I don't.
You really gave a lot of.
I think
out there.
that's all the facts I have for today.
Gave them a
Wow.
lot.
There's 100 and, was it, I think 128 or 228 species of shrimp.
What?
I could tell you that.
Is there really?
Wow.
We got all the,
Yeah.
you know how the species go, you know, they're a distinct taxonomic
going.
group, and they're, you know, yeah, they,
Different parts of the country, the
yeah,
world.
there's probably like
Probably.
Eastern and Western
Yeah.
styles of the same kind of
Key
shrimp.
West. This is Key West.
The Key West
Key
shrimp.
West shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Key East shrimp, I'm
Big
sure.
River. They dressed different.
Yeah.
It's looking
They
good.
look
Yeah.
cool.
They're a little different. They're distinct.
You know what? I'm gonna take a little bit of this and just.
I think a lot of the shrimp we eat are like farm raised though.
Yeah,
The
I
other
think so.
fact I saw,
I think
yeah,
you're
it was
right.
like 5 billion pounds of shrimp are produced every year.
So that's like shrimp farms, right?
Uh-huh.
Like
How's
a
that
little
look,
bit-
huh?
That looks
Wow.
amazing. That is,
That's a
we've hit
wonderful
the
meal.
target. I think we're ready.
Right.
That is so.
I think we need to
you
summon.
think we're all
yeah.
ready? Want to do it?
We're ready. We hit
We're
the target
doing
plate.
it. You got your
We got the
platter all
plate.
done. We're
Okay.
doing it.
We're all
How's
set.
that look, huh?
It looks,
Looks great.
beautiful.
Well, let's ask Rick when he gets here how he thinks it
Yeah, I mean, we're
I'm
giving our
interested to know.
opinion. We think it looks
looks. What
fabulous.
Mr. Rick Castile thinks of this.
And it's smoking, huh?
Just wait till
I'm
Rick
telling
gets
you.
here. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
Once Rick gets in here, he is gonna
Rick's gonna
lay
eat
it down.
that.
Yeah.
It's a done deal.
He is gonna opine on what he thinks of this dish.
so fine. I like
He
that
will
word.
give us his honest to goodness opinion.
He better hurry up or it's gone.
When Rick gets here,
He's got like
It's gone.
15 seconds.
It is
Boy, oh boy.
gone. You got it.
well, I don't know if Rick's coming. So
Yeah.
until Rick gets here, I'll just fill in
Just
a little
go
bit.
for it.
So Chef Rob, this looks delicious.
Fantastic.
You have finished on time, so you've met our challenge, which is amazing, and we always love to see that. So tell us once again, where can people find you online?
Okay, so go to robgwellness.com, and I'm a diabetes exercise coach. So anybody that has diabetes, anybody that family member or a friend you want to help, send them to my website. I have a video where I teach people with diabetes how to exercise and educate them on the disease. And I think I'll put this YouTube or whatever this winds up being like on my website so you could make some stir fries. How about that?
Rob, we're delighted to have you here. I think you've done a great job what you're doing online. That sounds terrific as
I
well.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you everybody for joining us for our session. Thank you for your
It's a pleasure.
everything that looks just delicious.
It's
Thank
a pleasure.
You. We look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good night.
Bye-bye, everyone.